everyone, and welcome back to the Whale Nerds Podcast. This is episode 131. My name is Slater, and I'm here with Caitlin.
Hello.
Hello.
You didn't wash away in the storm.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I said it first. No,
Say it in Hawaiian.
I thought it was gonna be so crazy, and then like it got a little breezy, and then it just stopped. I guess the ocean's pretty crazy.
The ocean looks pretty bad, and like the Bay Area looks flooded.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're all set to just hunker down at home, then you're good.
Yeah, I haven't been outside. So. And I got some Uber Eats gift cards for Christmas, so
nice. Really so you literally haven't left your house. If anybody's wondering what Slater does in the winter, this is it.
Cry and hibernate.
Mail out calendars and prints. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh,
well, I've been on the ocean. It's been we had a pretty nice little break from the trade winds, but they are back today, so break's over. Ooh. Yeah. It wasn't too terrible though. It was only like 20.
Well, hopefully all the bad weather comes now before I come later.
Wow, dude. My mom keeps saying the same thing, and she's only coming in like 2.5 weeks, so one of you is gonna win and one of you is gonna lose.
I've never had a bad trip there, so
that's true. I mean, also Lahaina side has way less wind.
True. So that's where we're staying.
Yeah. So I do want to start off with a little bit of thank yous to everyone before we get into everything else. So thank you to all of you that listen, that come on trips, that rate and review the podcast. I see some new reviews on there. And especially for those of you that support us on Patreon. So thank you for doing that throughout the years. And if you want to join our Patreon, you can either find it on our website or it's patreon.com/whalenerds. And you can support us for as little as $1 a month if you want to. So yeah, we really appreciate you sticking with us as we go into 2023.
I know. I can't believe it's a new year.
Already.
I feel like that one went pretty fast. Obviously the last 3 have, but
yeah. What is time, honestly?
They went slow in the moment, but then fast to look back on.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Kind of. That's how I felt about school.
Yeah.
Every day you'd be like, this is so boring and slow. And then it'd be all of a sudden you're like, oh, the year's over.
No, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I've been out of high school for 12 years. That's crazy.
So updates for us coming into the new year. I haven't updated the blog in like a month, but I probably will put some of the Safina Center blogs in there. I'm working on a couple new ones, so you can always follow along. That's one place where we update content regularly. We have trips coming up in April. They still have spaces available on them right now. It is, let me pull up the dates so I do not say them wrong. It's going to be the weekend of April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. We're going to be going out of Monterey with Blue Ocean Whale Watch, and we're going to be looking for potentially killer whales, but also humpback whales, maybe blue whales, fin whales, gray whales, dolphins, birds, sunfish, who knows? And just a word of advice, if you really want to increase your odds of seeing killer whales, what people did right last spring was book more than one day, because we didn't see killer whales on all 3 days. We only saw them on 2 days, and really only one of the days had like an extended encounter. The first encounter we had was fairly short. So if you have your heart set on killer whales, Monterey in the spring is a good time to go, but try to get more than one day in if you can. And then also you can sign up for that on our website. You can also look at our merchandise. You can look at other things we're doing on there, latest episodes, all that good stuff. It's thewhalenerds.com. And we do have video versions of all of our episodes from 100 onwards on our YouTube. And we have a YouTube channel. It's at Whale Nerds. Or you can just type in the Whale Nerds podcast on YouTube and you'll find us on there.
Dude. I'm sorry. I'm looking ahead at the... I'm watching that video of the I like zoned out.
You're not ready. You're not ready.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, sightings. Slater's been at his house, so saw Lacey.
Well, Wait, I have an update. I'm going to Africa in 2 days.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I haven't really been doing much, but no one's been doing much. I mean,
Yeah.
either everybody I know that is in Monterey is either in the shipyard or if the weather's just horrible, so they're canceled. So
That's why you're in the shipyard this time of year, because the trips aren't going anyway.
yeah, this is especially a bad winter though, since this is like when I first moved here.
2016.
Yeah, it's like nothing's been like this since. So yeah, I've been off the water, but I am trying to do a little bit more land stuff this year and starting the year off with Africa for 2.5 weeks. So yeah, I'm about to go see some tigers. No,
Tiger,
I just showed
cheetahs, lions,
I said
elephants,
well, I
gazelles.
might go see some tigers after Africa. Who knows?
Whoa, dude, settle down. You're gonna go to India next.
No, but I'm gonna see some lions and cheetahs and leopards and with elephants and so many cool things, and I cannot wait.
Which country are you going to?
Kenya.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. So that also means Slater will be missing from a few episodes coming up because he'll be having fun in Africa.
Yeah, I think we should just tell everybody now that we have a lot of big trips planned throughout the winter, and so it'll probably be like pretty spread out, and until we get back into a regular like whale watch season. I feel like our podcast season should be kind of based on our whale watch season. You know what I mean? Like basically March to, well, you still go during the winter, but I do, just not as much.
Yeah, for me, I follow the whales and the nicer weather.
Yeah. So. All right.
Okay, so this is the season for baby whales in the northern hemisphere, and there have been some very interesting sightings in December and the beginning of January. So I figured we should talk about it. So December 19th, a humpback whale birth was documented in Sayulita, Mexico, and there's like video footage and photos. They don't have the actual like moment the calf pops up, but how it all seemed to go down is like the female was part of a competitive group. Then they saw blood in the water, and then the calf came up to the surface right after. And then like in the pictures and stuff, you can see the mom like pushes it up.
Yeah.
And the calf has like its dorsal fin is like flat to its back, and it's like all floppy, and like the video of it afterwards, it's like really awkward swimming, like just flailing its tail everywhere.
I love seeing that where like you could totally see the mom's pushing it up and the baby's just like it's like rolling off the side.
Yeah.
So the moms just trying to keep it up, huh? I
Yeah,
wonder if calves ever drown.
Maybe.
That would suck.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, luckily they're like pretty buoyant, right? Like,
yeah, I guess they're like a maid.
Sea otter. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, if you go on their Facebook page in general, like if you click onto because like that link takes you to the video, but if you click to their Facebook page, I don't know if this is the same calf. I think it is. It's so tiny and it's just so pristine.
Yeah, they look like so clean, like they look like a plastic toy. They're like so clean.
What if humpback stayed that clean the whole time? That'd be so cool.
They'd be like a dolphin.
Oh,
not
true.
Even dolphins look pretty rugged sometimes.
No, yeah, like I'd say like a brand new like a bottlenose in captivity, but not even them. They look pretty bad too. They look even worse sometimes. A baby bottlenose dolphin. How about that? Yeah, we need to go down there too, hon. That's where you can see babies be born. Just a new thing.
Oh, down in Mexico. Yeah, so almost in the exact same spot, they saw a birthing event 7 years ago too.
Oh,
in
really?
Sayulita. Yeah. And I think it was kind of a similar thing. Like,
I wonder why. I wonder if it's a weird just spot where they have babies there.
I mean, maybe that's the spot. We just haven't figured it out yet.
All of them go there.
Yeah, that's where every single birth is happening. No, dude. I saw I didn't talk about my sightings at all. I saw a calf today that was like the dorsal fin was still really flat on the back, but it wasn't like pale gray. It was like darker, and the mom was still pushing it around, but it was like less than a week old.
Dang.
So
yeah, have you been seeing lots of calves?
Starting to today, I think was the most I've seen since I got here. We probably had we had one yearling, one older calf, and then like 5 or 6 teeny, teeny, tiny, less than 2-week-old calves. So they're here. They're starting to give birth. I bet it turns into baby whale mayhem here pretty soon.
You're not going to see blood during the birth until like after the baby's pushed out, huh?
Yeah, or like during. So like
You think during?
Yeah, some of the reports, like this report from Mexico and some of the other ones we'll talk about, they like say they see a pool of blood and then the calf comes up.
Yeah, well, because I wonder if that pool of that like
I think that's just from the
floats up first.
push.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the
Okay.
push out.
Man. See, this is like that's just the reason why drones like it's like at the same time it can be frustrating if every whale boat has a drone, but like at the same time it helps so much with science. Like it just does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess what would come from seeing a birth though?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could see how long they'll. I don't know, because you can't fly your drone for hours on end. You have to bring it in to change the battery, right?
Oh, you
So
think they
like,
could last an hour? I feel like it has to last like 5 minutes at
but
the
I
most.
mean, like, remember in January of 2020, that one female was seen. They got the GoPro footage with the tail sticking out, and they followed her
Oh
for like,
yeah, and they
yeah,
lost
they
her.
followed her for a while, and she still didn't give birth, like almost an hour.
Yeah,
And then yeah,
as
she
long
swam into the wind, and they couldn't follow her.
Damn. Did she end up giving birth though? She
Yeah,
did,
they
right?
saw 6 weeks later, they fluke ID matched her with a calf.
Heck yeah. I remember that.
So,
All right. Well, one day it
so
will
then it's like,
happen.
what about that?
Yeah, one day it will happen. I
Yeah,
mean, there's
I
so
think
many people
so.
watching whales, especially humpback whales. It's funny. I posted a
Yeah.
video of a humpback. Well, I always post videos of humpbacks, but I got a comment the other day, and someone on YouTube was just like, "Humpback whales are the most documented whale," and and it's like
Yeah.
it's true. They're
I
everywhere. They're
mean,
super
they're
common.
they're definitely the most like watched whale commercially.
Yeah.
Like if you go whale watching anywhere in the world, I'm gonna bet you saw a humpback whale over anything else.
And they're the best. Just admit it. You know what I mean?
So we're gonna change gears from humpback whales for just a moment, and then we'll be back to humpback whales. So then off Dana Point just a couple days ago on the 2nd of January, some whale watch boats saw a gray whale birth. So,
That company is one lucky company, I swear.
dude, I know. So what happened is Dana Wharf Whale Watch was tracking a single female, and they said she was milling, but they had to go in for their trip, so they passed it off to Captain Dave's. And like once Captain Dave's was by themselves, they were like the female kept milling, then she like kind of twitched. I guess that's what this is all secondhand information. Says she twitched, and then there was a pool of blood, and then the calf came up.
No. Why can't they get drone footage?
I know they have a drone.
Oh,
Well, I
they
mean,
have drone after.
yeah, they have after, but I guess they probably weren't expecting that she was just gonna pop the baby out.
Oh, and she came over to the boat?
Yeah. So I think because like the calves are so bad at swimming, right? So she has to like kind of push it around. So I don't know if she just happened to push it to them because she just couldn't push it any other direction or what.
Dang. Dude, that's so crazy. Man, little whales are so cool.
Yeah.
That's such a like what is that? Like you know how the baby's riding on the mom's back?
Yeah.
It's just such a like moment, you know what I mean, to capture.
Yeah. Yeah. Super sweet. Yeah, and it looks really cool from the drone because like you can see, especially with gray whales, they don't have any spots yet. I mean, unless they have like one big birthmark spot, but they usually don't have any spots yet. They're very smooth and they're so tiny compared to the mom.
Yeah, no, in the video you can actually see the mom go over to the boat. So she definitely swims over to the boat. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, it's no different than Mexico. She's going to be taking the baby to do the same thing down there. Yeah, no, the mom puts her head on the
Yeah.
boat. Oh no, she's definitely touching the boat. The mom is. Oh man, I like gray whales too.
So
This is the most I've looked at whales in a while.
So the boats watched them for over 90 minutes, I think, between the two companies. And the calf was getting help from mom the whole time. the tail was super floppy, and you can see like that awkward swimming
Yeah.
behavior, which is pretty typical of newborns. Both of these sightings we just talked about, the Mexico and the Dana Point one, there are videos and photos linked on like the different companies' Facebook pages. So I'll link that in our show notes on Facebook when I post them. So you guys can watch the videos too if you haven't seen them.
Dang. That is so cool.
Yeah. So then the researcher that observed the birth in Mexico, Nico, she had published a paper a couple years ago about like kind of what we know about birthing events in humpback whales around the world. And so I asked her for access to it as a follow-up, and she emailed it to us. And just kind of like some of the highlights of information out of the whole thing are that they do have like some criteria for what is a neonate or like a newborn calf. You know, they describe like the flat dorsal fin, curled flukes, fetal folds, pale coloration, awkward swimming behavior. And a lot of the birthing events that have been documented around the world often are in the company of other whales. Like there's a few that are documented with the female by herself, but often she's got at least an escort with her. If not, she's not the subject of a full-on competitive group. But yeah, the traits of neonates, here's the list: small body length, fetal folds, pale body color, wrapping indentation behind the blowhole or a neck indentation, and then completely folded over dorsal fin.
I wonder.
Oh, go ahead.
It's funny because especially gray whales, like whenever you see one that's on the southbound migration and it has a calf, it's like they could be, days or like weeks, like a week old.
Yeah. I
Like
mean, I've
unless
seen
they have them in Alaska. But I mean, like this year was the first time that anyone ever seen a gray whale born here. Oh no, was it humpback?
a humpback.
Yeah, humpback.
I've seen newborn gray whales as far north as Monterey on the southbound migration. It's not super common, but you do see them.
Yeah.
So there are 9 reports of birthing events in humpback whales. 3 of them are already published in peer-reviewed journals, and then this paper covers the remaining 6. They do not include the Hawaii January 2020 documentation, personal observation. What does it say? Because the full birth was not witnessed. So they saw like the beginning stages of labor, but they didn't actually see the birth. So just kind of like,
So still nobody's seen a birth technically, right?
no, I mean, they've seen a pool of blood and a baby come up, but they haven't seen how it all works underwater.
I mean, can we like, if you stitch everybody's story together, they've almost seen a birth. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a lot of these stories are very similar to the 2 that we just talked about. Like this one is from Western Australia, July 2009. A unaccompanied female was encountered during a research trip. They were with the mom for 28 minutes after they observed the calf. She was in pretty shallow water, about 3 kilometers from shore. They followed her for about 8 minutes, and she was doing shallow dives with really short dive times. And then all of a sudden, her behavior changed. She like arched her back really steeply, raised her flukes high out of the water, and dove. And then over the next 3 minutes, she did 3 more of those big high fluke up dives. And then after the 3rd dive, the calf came up in the fluke print, and they didn't see any blood. But it's like definitely a newborn calf if you look at the photos in the
maybe the calf was just stuck in a rock.
They do see a little bit of blood later, it looks like, in one of these photos. Yeah, there's blood around her tail. The calf appeared to have difficulty swimming, breathing, and surfacing, moving in a circle, continually submerging as if it was having problems maintaining its position at the surface. Within 1 minute of the calf's first sighting, the female came up underneath the calf, slowly lifted above the water on her rostrum so that the calf's body was totally out of the water. I mean, that's like an identical photo to the one that was just posted from Mexico. The calf all the way out. Calf stayed in this position on the mom's back for 2 minutes, breathing deeply before the female lowered the calf back into the water. And immediately after re-entering the water, the calf started to swim successfully for the first time. So I think what happens is they push them up for their first big round of breaths. And like once their like lungs are full properly, then they like can swim.
Yeah. And if you look at that video, you can see it looks like there's maybe some cloud of bloodish still coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know, a little bit, but it's kind of blurry, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah. This other birthing event was also observed by Nico in Mexico in 2015. And this was during a commercial whale watch trip. A female was in a competitive group with 5 escorts. They had high energy, competitive, and aggressive behaviors towards each other. Their total observation lasted just over an hour. And they were within 1 kilometer of the coast. And the whales were approximately 20 meters from the shoreline. So the boat was within 1 kilometer of the coast. The female was resting close to the shoreline, motionless, arching her back so that only her dorsal fin and tail stalk were at the surface. You know when they do that thing where they like push their back up?
Yeah,
and then lay their tail out?
Like a
the escort whales were swimming and surfacing around her, exhibiting competitive behavior such as trumpeting, head lunging, occasional body strikes. But the female remained in that position doing the same behavior and then submerging shortly for periods of 1 to 2 minutes, not really moving. And she rested for like 25 minutes. And then the competitive group kind of moved out into deeper water away from her. And they became like more aggressive towards each other. And then at the front of the competitive group, the calf popped up with the mom. And they didn't see any blood. They didn't see the placenta. But the calf wasn't really moving, wasn't really appearing to breathe. It was kind of gliding through the water with the escorts behind. So I'm assuming that means the mom was pushing it. Oh, yeah. It took several minutes for them to realize the mom, who was barely visible, was swimming just underneath the surface, supporting the newborn on her rostrum. Then she and the calf both disappear for 30 seconds. The female comes up really close to shore, lifting the calf out of the water completely. And then she went back to resting, lowered the calf in the water. The escorts tried to chase her, and then the calf was seen actually swimming. And they were followed by that competitive group for 30 more minutes.
So are we ever going to see one or what?
Dude, poor thing. She gives birth while a bunch of dudes are harassing her. They probably made her go into labor, all that stress.
Maybe.
She's like, you guys are making me work out. I'm about to have a baby.
I'm like, okay, why can't the science boats go out there and put the drone over every single whale and see if they're pregnant? Because you could tell, like,
yeah,
females can be big. And then
yeah, but like right now in Maui, dude, there's so many whales already. It's dumb.
Yeah,
like
true.
So many whales to fly over now.
How many whales, Kaylin? Because I don't see any whales right now. It's not funny.
It's kind of funny.
What's so funny?
So this birthing event from Australia, another one, is actually from a plane or something, a microlight pilot. What is that? A plane? Small plane?
On a microlight? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a personal plane.
So he was flying a tourism flight over Ningaloo Reef, and he noticed 2 large stationary humpback whales in shallow water about 1 kilometer from the reef. And after several minutes of observation, both whales were swimming in a large circle. They continued to do that for about 5 minutes. One of the whales fluked and went down and wasn't visible anymore. The other whale was still milling. And then after 3 minutes on the dive, a large cloud of dark water, which they presume was blood, that, quickly became red colored at the surface, came up. And after less than a minute, a calf appeared in the circle of blood. And the calf was like thrashing at the surface, like with its tail. And then after 30 seconds, the mom came up. Both whales dove, the mom and the escort, left the calf at the surface. After a couple minutes, both whales came up again, but like 400 yards from the calf. And the escort seemed to be like irritated with the mom and was like chasing her. And then the mom went and got her calf like 5 minutes later, and she put it on her back, let it rest. And then there was sharks seen from the plane circling the area where the blood and stuff was. And the escort's dive pattern changed after the mom came and got the calf and started to take longer dives, and then would circle around back to the mom and calf. So that one was from a plane.
Still don't know when I'm going to see mine.
Seriously.
This is a lot of almost. I think in February it could happen.
Okay, this one, dude, who knows? This one's interesting. This is from a private boat that they like gave the write up to some researchers. It's also from Ningaloo Reef in Australia. Maybe we just need to go to Australia. I don't know. We got a lot of humpback whales giving birth there.
No, I'm traveling too much. I had to take a break.
It's in the summer. That's when we go, in the summer.
All right, we'll do it.
So this group, they saw 4 humpbacks in shallow water, and they were all swimming together in a pretty tight group, but they were not acting like competitive. They weren't acting aggressive. 15 minutes after the boat first got there, 2 whales left, so then it was just 2 adults remaining, and they swam in a large circle. Several sharks appeared in the area, and an observer got in the water to photograph the sharks.
Dang.
And after 5 minutes of being in the water, they did not see the adults, but a calf came up, and the diver could see it underwater. And the calf kind of swam over to the snorkeler or whoever it was. And so they started to film it. The calf started swimming in circles and blowing bubbles, and was at the surface for about 5 minutes by itself. Then the female and the escort came up, and the adults were trumpeting, and blood was seen coming from the female's genitalia. They did not see the placenta. And the escort was chasing the female. And then the sharks that were in the area were gray reef sharks. They were able to get photos to identify them.
How do you feel about that?
What?
That the calf, like, I just feel like, you think a calf's gonna come? Why would the calf come up alone?
I don't know. I mean, I wonder
blowing
what
bubbles.
if
That's pretty like the calves in Tonga were blowing bubbles. Like I feel like they're at least a few weeks old by that point.
I mean, these photos, like the flukes are all curled, the dorsal fin's flat on its back. It has those weird indents behind its blowhole. I think that the female has to like tell the escort, like, dude, chill out. Like, I just literally had a baby right this second. But yeah, they see blood coming out of the mom. Yeah, gnarly. Probably blowing bubbles because it like needs help breathing, and like the mom's not there to help it yet. So someone was in the water when it happened and they didn't get it.
That baby was probably drinking water. There was nostrils.
No.
Dude, they have to. You guys can't tell me they don't get it in their blowholes ever.
A little bit. They do.
They do. No, all of them. They sneeze and suck it in, and then they have to blow it out. That's why they have the spout. It's not actual exhale. It's water.
Both. Dude, don't be making up your own science right now.
Dude.
So another one from Australia, same thing, 1 escort. Milling at the surface. Female was floating, doing the arch her back thing, would submerge for 1 to 2 minutes. Her breath was really loud, like she had labored breathing. And then they thought that something about her behavior kind of gave them an indication they thought she was in the advanced stages of labor. and she arched her back steeply one more time. A cloud of blood appeared near her flukes, and then less than a minute later, the calf was up at the surface. Mom went under the calf, put it on her back, didn't quite lift it out of the water. Then they saw tissue at the surface, which they think was the placenta, and they also saw sharks instantly on the placenta eating it. And they had a drone, which they put up right after the birth. They should have put it up before when they thought she was in labor, but they didn't. And
come on, rookies. You ever see a bubble blast? Put your drone up. Change your life.
There's a female whale that looks really big, just doing weird stuff with her posture. Put the drone up. Yep. So she's kind of pushing the calf around. She has it on her back. They see the calf start swimming.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. And then there is another note from Hawaii, actually, from the year before in January of 2019. And it's from the Lahaina-side whale watching. And pretty much same story. In a comp group. And they saw the whales for like 50 minutes. After 20 minutes, the whales kind of slowed down, chilled out. Some of the escorts left. 3 escorts stayed. They all started swimming in a circle. There was blood. And then the calf came up.
You know what? I'm gonna make my own story up.
Everybody's just so close, dude. So close for getting it first.
It will happen. I bet you it happens this year, honestly, somewhere. 2023. Maybe. 2023 is the year. It's going to be right under your boat. You're going to be driving it. And then you're like,
dude.
Oh, we can't go anywhere because it's giving birth.
And I'll be like calling our research team, calling everyone I know.
Call
my mom.
Call me and I'll fly out on a jet plane.
Like FaceTiming you. Look at it.
Hopefully there's no turbulence.
So, yeah, pretty crazy.
2023 is our year. Maybe we're going to see a killer whale birth on our spring trips in May.
Whoa, dude, settle down.
That's not even that crazy. It's been done before.
I mean, they've seen it in captivity.
That's so stupid. They cheated.
They definitely cheated.
If you think about it, they literally cheated. Dummies.
Oh. So, yeah, maybe this year will be the year. But yeah, it seems like typical behavior is maybe there's some blood. You definitely see the female lift the calf up, help it get its first few breaths. And after it gets its first few breaths, it usually can like get moving.
And then floppy dorsal fin, floppy tail, cute baby, no markings, everybody smiling on the boat, win-win for everybody.
Yep, exactly.
Win for everybody. And then hopefully the baby survives as it travels back to its feeding ground.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I know, dude. It's like when you go pet a little gray whale calf in Mexico, you're like, good luck. Hopefully you make it through Monterey.
And the funny thing about that is the calf's already pretty big. Usually I feel like the ones I pet, like I've never pet, you don't pet like a brand new baby. They don't even know. Because like in San Ignacio, most of the babies are born a little bit further back in the lagoon. And you're not allowed to whale watch, but out in front. You know what I mean? Like you can't watch the whales that are inside past that like marker or whatever they have.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And they all push out on low tide. Isn't that crazy? You think they just know the tide whenever they just like feel it?
Well, yeah. It's like, don't fight the current, right? Just drift.
They just live for it.
Dude, we're just here to drift, man.
But I guess it's really loud, like in the lagoons. We've talked about it before, but I guess
all the pistol shrimp. Yeah, they're super loud.
Do you think the gray whales get annoyed at stuff like that?
I don't know. I guess you just have to live with it, right?
Maybe you take a little drum solo.
Because, I mean, even in Maui, we have lots of those too.
Yeah.
So.
Do you hear them?
Yeah, like when I go in the engine room in the morning, you can hear it through the hole.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. So that's what we know for now about whales giving birth.
Still, we're like 48%.
Yeah.
We know everything, but seen nothing.
We've
All
been
right.
like
Well, you
30
see one
seconds
this
too
week
late
when
every
I'm
time.
flying. I'll be flying to London. You're gonna freaking text me and be like, "I saw a birth. I can't believe it."
Yeah. I'll send you a horrible cell phone video because my nice camera doesn't arrive till my parents arrive. I sent it to Canon for servicing.
Oh,
so,
did you?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So they're bringing it to me later this month.
Well, that's nice.
But yeah, I really appreciate Nico sending us that paper and for reporting the new sighting in December. And then, I appreciate that people post things on social media so that we can see them.
Yeah, thank you.
So, if you made it this far, thanks for listening. Happy New Year again. Hau'oli makahiki ho.
Waka flocka, and we'll see you in another episode. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.